What's up, Pirates? Awaken TCG here, and today we're going to be going over OP09 Belo Betty. So let's go ahead and take a look at the list. I don't consume as much One Piece content as I really should, and I was actually doing this the other weekend, and so I seen a Belo Betty list. A random YouTube video popped up of like a matchup guide. It was like a matchup guide part 2. I forgot whose it was. I definitely should have bookmarked it or took note of it, but I kind of like looked at the list and saw some ideas, and I got interested to actually play this deck because I know there was like a couple of Belo Bettys. I don't know if it was a couple or just one that topped like a top 64, a top 32 at one of the Nats that I attended, and so I just wanted to see how the deck actually functioned. I've always played against it. I never actually played it, and so something I do is I always neglect these funner lower tier decks, and so I definitely, since I did all the groundwork for OP09 and I basically know how to play Blackbeard in and out, I don't need to spend the time actually practicing that deck, and so I do have time to just put some time into other decks. And so here is what I've come up with. So definitely the Koala and Sabo idea I stole from the YouTube video because it makes sense, right? If you play a Nell, they want to starve you. Both of these allow you to take life and cycle. And so here we have my tech card. I don't know if you guys saw, I put up a tweet and people were actually trying to decipher what card was this here in the picture of the tweet, because I laid out my cards flat like this on the table, and you could see some of the cards, but you couldn't see all of them. And this was one people were like trying to decipher, like, what card is that? So yeah, I run a one of kit, and I'll get to why I run this in just a second here. But this list is basically what I've come up with. It is what I would run if I ever do a tournament, and I might. There's a 4 treasure cups coming up, and so if I get a couple of tops here with Blackbeard before the 3rd or 4th one, I might go ahead and just have a fun run with Belo Betty. But let's go ahead and talk about the list. And so what Belo Betty does is you trash one card from hand, right? It's an activate main, and then you give up to 3 of your Revolutionary Army or trigger type characters for with plus 3,000 for the turn. And so what that means, yeah, you can't choose the leader, but you have a lot of ways to flood the board, and then you can give them plus 3,000 each, which is 9,000 total power advantage for one card, which is like super good value, and it's very aggressive. So the first card here we have is Kid and Killer. I know that the dragon is like searchable. It can get targeted by leader effect, and just overall a very good use of Dawn, right? But it's like, if you really think about it, if the Kid and Killer's at the threshold, it's a 4 and 7. This dragon is a 8-9, but it does attach 2 rested Dawn, so technically it could be an 8-11. So a 4-7, 8-11. As far as Dawn goes, for the amount of power we get, they're about the same, right? This one this one just has a requirement. But in general, like, it's about the same. 4 to 7, 8 to 11, they're both getting that 3,000 extra power. And so what this means, though, is at 4 cost, you're more flexible to have a better turn doing other things. And so let's say you're trying to go for a game, and at a certain point they just counter out, and you have to, rotate and do a different game plan. You can still play the Kid and Killer for 4, have Dawn to swing, and you have the option to play a blocker. Where's my blockers at? My Karasu. Right, if you play Dragon and you can't go for a game, you just lost, right? Like, you play Dragon, they counter out a swing they needed to take. Now you can't swing and go for a game. Or if you're, trying to do this and be efficient, right? You're trying to go for a game, and then you have to, do a different game plan. Now we got to play a Karasu, leaving us with 7 Dawn, and we can't actually play a dragon, right, for 7 Dawn, right? So our 7 Dawn play would just be a little worse. This has rush, but it's a 3 cost that gets popped by a lot of triggers, so it's very sketchy, and we already have to have an existing 7k power unit on the board. I think the Kid and Killer, even though it's not searchable, it gives the deck flexibility, and it can be very sneaky at times, especially if, like, you need to live 1 turn. You can play this, kill what you need to kill, have some extra Dawn to work with, versus if you need an extra swing and this is your only rusher that you have available. Now where it's, we're kind of like in a do or die situation, because like at this point you're leaving yourself open if you play this. If you're head, obviously it makes sense, but that's why I have this here as a one of. It's just a little bit of flexibility to the deck. And I actually beat an Anel yesterday in locals because of this card here. It gave me an extra swing with the Inazuma. I was able to double up on my rushers, which you can't Dragon and Inazuma at the same time, but you can Kid and Killer and Inazuma. So I was actually able to get 2 extra attacks at the end of my turn to secure the win. We're at 2 Inazuma. We just need space in the deck, so we got to cut that. While it's a great card, it's niche and it's not always needed, and it's probably not the best Revolutionary Army card that you even want to play. A 4 of for Ivankov. What this card does here If if this card is at 7,000 power or more, you can play a Revolutionary Army type other than Ivankov with the power of 5,000 or less. So my favorite target for me, obviously the Karasu. On play, minus 1,000 power to a leader or character for the turn. And then when attacking, if it has 7,000 power or more, you guys can read it there. It's the same effect. We have our 2Ks, the Koala at 4 of. Our Kumas are at 4 of. Perfect card for Rebecca blockers in the Lucci matchup or any black matchup that runs Rebecca. Kuma is just fantastic card. I love it. Obviously 4 Belo Bettys are searchers. We got to run 4. Makes the deck very consistent. We have 2 more of these. It's a triggerable body that is not bad, but it's at 2 of as well, because it's like it's not a great card, but it's a good card, right? I'm not sure if we could slot anything else in that spot for it. Lindbergh, a card that we can actually kill small chump blockers with. So this actually has a way better use. There's even combo potential with the Koala here, minus 3,000 power for the turn. This pops at 3,000 power or less. So if you use 2 Dom, use the Koala, use the Lindbergh effect to get to 7k power. You swing, you can pop a 6,000 power, right? So just a small little combo there. Nothing crazy, but it does get rid of the chump blockers. It gets rid of small searcher bodies, anything small, right? If you have a board flooded with searchers and Kumas and you don't want their weenie units to swing into your small units, Lindbergh is perfect for that. Obviously Ivankov, search top 3, play a revolutionary type from the top of your for the top 3 cards with 5,000 power or less, and then return the remaining back to the bottom. So you basically are always hitting on this. Obviously the nuts would be you find this Ivankov off this Ivankov, and then you play a 3rd unit, right, off 5 on your 5 Don, which is insane. 2 Dragon, very good at rush units. It's a leader effect works on this card. Super good card. If you're ahead, you get an extra swing, be extra aggressive. Very hard to remove. 3 Karasu, triggerable blockers. Not much to say. This card definitely needs some blockers at times, and so it's good to have this card. And I've always seen at 4 of, but I'll show you why I have at 3 of. Koala, a great card for decks that like to starve you. Lucci sometimes likes to starve you. Anel likes to starve you. And so this, takes life. You draw a card on top of that, and you got to play a 4 cost, which could be this Ivankov, which can play you another card. And so you just have a lot of combo potential with this card. And it's a 6,000 power blocker, which is not bad, right? And you get 2 units, potentially 3 units on the board on your 6 Don. And you can take a card and draw one, right? So we're plussing all around. Then we have the Sabo, which is essentially the same thing. It can drain your life if you need it. So on play, place up to 1 Revo Army type character from your hand to the top of your life, face up. Then if you have 2 or more life, put the top or bottom card of your life into your hand. So basically, you take a life, right? Especially if you need to in matchups like Anel, like I was talking about. But you don't have to place a card on top. And then obviously the trigger is draw 2 cards. If you get this off trigger, it's just like amazing, right? It's just get 2 cards, right? So it's not bad. But I think this is another just tech option against especially decks like Anel, right? They're going to want to starve you. They're not going to want to let you hit those triggers. And if you go ahead and play this, you're going to be able to grab cards, right? If you go from 4 life to 3 life, their Gadatsus are not live. And then they're going to have to find other ways to KO your units. Another 2K that we got in OP09, which makes this deck insane. Like just having so much searchable 2Ks and like this is a triggerable body at that is insane. It's a 4/5 2K. The only issue is for these newer cards that we got, right, such as the Karasu, the Kuma, we have to be at 5 life totals between you and your opponent, right? So like 3 and 2, 1 and 4, right? We have to be at least 5 to be able to trigger this, which if you get it early, it kind of sucks because usually you'll be at 3 life then, and your opponent will be at, 4 or 3, ideally you want them to be at 2, but if you trigger this first life, you're kind of just putting it to hand. Then this is our another tech card here, the Lindbergh. The Lindbergh is super good against black. If you get this off trigger, it's an amazing card. Honestly, I feel like if you get this at the right time and there's a Rebecca on board or a small chump blocker, you can go ahead and just kill it, and it's just like insane value. I would like to say that the reason that I'm mainly running this is for that, right? And I feel like 4 Kuma is not enough. This is also triggerable, right? With the same threshold, 5 life between you and your opponent. But I think having 1 extra is definitely the perfect sweet spot. I think 5 is nice. I think 6 would be too much. And at the end of the day, it's still searchable. It's a 1K. So it's like having the Karasu. I just got rid of 1 Karasu for an extra Lindbergh, which gives me an extra chance to pop like like Kuma, right? Obviously, it's towards the end game. The life total should be at 5 or less, and so I really believe in this card here. I think it's very fine out of one of the Karasu does get played, but we have other options for blockers like the Koala. And like I said before, you definitely want to be at the forefront of the aggression, and you want to go ahead and just pound your opponent paws and just really go at it, get them down in life, put them in a situation where they're forced to use all their Don to try to clear your board and play a blocker and hope you don't have lethal the next turn. And so and then obviously 3-stage. I think stage is mandatory. You need to have consistency in this deck. Otherwise, you're kind of just playing the gambling factor even higher. If you run no stage, it gets to a point where you just don't see your cards and it's game over. Stage has saved me so many times. It's saved me so many times. And so I definitely like the stage at 3. If you see it early, perfect. If you don't, I mean, it's still good to play it somewhere in the mid game if you have extra Dawn, just so the rest of your turn is very efficient. But this is the list that everyone's been wanting to see on Twitter, and so here you guys go. I'm gonna go ahead and do one ranked game. I know I've already been yapping for a while, and so let's go ahead and do one ranked game, and we'll see it in action. All right, so let's go ahead and play our one match here. We're gonna be going up against a Shanks. So I actually don't know how this matchup goes or what I should start first or second, but I know he has a 7 cost Ben Beckman, which I don't want him to play on curve, and so we're gonna go ahead and get the off curve. And we'll keep him on the even curve, which I think is okay. We're going first, and we have no stage, no 1-drop. Although we have Ivankov and this Ivankov here, I don't think we ever keep that hand, and so let's mulligan again. No 1-drop, which really sucks. I would say this is a very bad hand. We have the Ivankov Karasu, but we're off curve. So our turns here are going to be honestly really, really weak. I'm not sure if we'll be able to actually come back from this. We'll swing 7. Maybe I go stage first. That's a misplay. I definitely go stage first. And he's giving me a 2K. I go stage first just in case I find like I probably wouldn't have played Akuma, to be honest. I definitely will grab it just in case. But okay, that's fine. I mean, I probably swing 7 anyway rather than play the Kuma there. His 4-Don might be a lucky row. Might be a swing 9. A Hongo, interesting. He wants a little body on the board, I understand. Okay, no trigger. We definitely should have kept the first hand. I didn't know my hand was gonna get worse, which is very unfortunate, but maybe we can save it here. There we go. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. We just go here. I really want to play the Searcher. I just don't think I can afford to right now. This matchup probably is one of Belo Betty's worst. I haven't played it, but just how it's going. I mean, I did have a slower start on. I did my first body on 5-Don, right? I could have played a 1-drop, played another 2 units on 3 maybe potentially, and then I could have been swinging pretty crazy. But yeah, the me swinging 5s with like weenie units like Searchers and so I mean, there's a Uta that we can actually pop with the Kuma. It might be a little too late though. He's not swinging at me, which is fine. I mean, overall, that's probably better for me. So I think we have to start swinging. It's unfortunate he's at 6K currently, but we can play a Karasu, which is going to be pretty nice to get him back down to 5,000. We'll go Kuma. We'll pop that. We'll play this Ivankov. We'll leader effect here. We're gonna keep both our rushers. I think we'll take this 2K over the Kuma. Yeah, Shanks doesn't run any small blockers. We'll just take the 2K. Leader effect. We'll trash this other Ivankov. We'll go here. Karasu -1. And then we'll just go ahead and swing for the fences. He still has leader effect, but I'm able to swing 6 on this first one. So we're okay. We're okay. He's not getting free value. He can leader effect give me a 1K, which will be fine. But we got to start swinging at him. And then like we're not in the worst spot here, because now 2 of his swings has to go to my board. And then on top of that, next turn I'm playing a rusher where I get to play dragon potentially, depending on how it goes. And then obviously Karasu's gonna stick for 1 turn unless he like Ben Beckmans, but then that's a really slow turn for him. And then with the potential of me countering out one of my units. You would like swing 6k twice or 5-7. But for the most part, I think he should definitely prioritize killing these 2 units. Oh, he does have a Hongo actually, so he would be able to just swing 5 into this and then 7 into that and play the Ben Beckman, which is good for him, really good for him. It's probably what he's gonna do. And then this secures the kill here, right? Because he's going 7 at 5 because of the -1 as well. So he's like actually perfectly set up to clear my board here. He's going 6 at 6. I'm countering that. I'm countering that every time. Just because you're at 8 Don, you probably want to play a Rayleigh. Or even if you play a Ben Beckman, I don't want to give you another free unit. Yeah, so there's a Rayleigh, which is fine. I think we're still swinging. He's probably going to want to kill this Karasu here. Yeah, that makes sense. I think we just play Dragon and go crazy. I don't ever... Do we buff this here? No, I don't think we ever buff this. We probably just buff this here. We do have 1 extra Dawn. I definitely want to kill the Hongo, which is very unfortunate, but I don't know if I can afford to kill the Hongo. I think I might just have to go board. Or I might just have to go life, excuse me. Because that Hongo just like makes it really hard for me to do anything or like at least keep my board alive. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do this. We'll put the Dawn here. Leader effect 1, 2, 3. We'll start off with the 6k. I don't think I die next turn. Or at least I hope not. I hope he doesn't go for game. He could technically go for game. Swing 7, swing 9, and then he splits here 3 and 5, which would be 8 and 8. I don't know. I'm not sure. But we're gonna have to roll with the punches. We're gonna roll with the punches and just pray he doesn't go for life. I could also get a Karasu blocker if I put him to 2 life here. Well, actually, I would be at 2 as well, so I think we're okay. There's definitely a lot of scenarios that I haven't learned playing this deck yet. I just started playing it 2 days ago, but I've got the gist of the whole deck, and it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Luckily, I mean, a rush deck, you know, how hard could it be, right? It's just, I wouldn't even consider Dofi a rush deck, even though like technically it is rush. It's like it's probably like the best. I think Dofi's like a great mid range deck. It's probably the best mid range deck. Obviously, it's the best deck in the format. But for the most part, I don't know. I feel like this is like the premier rush deck. I feel like this is the premier rush deck. Now, oh, fuck me, dude. That's so insane. I can't actually believe that. Now, chat, do I search for a 2k in my hand so I don't die, or is he swinging at my board? That is the real question, right? That is the real question. Because like, if he swings 5 and I take, and then he swings 6 and I take, I'm actually cooked because he's just going 8 and then 12. What is Shanks? 11k, 10k. 10. What is Shanks? Is a 10-10? Right, so if he goes 5-6 and I don't have a counter, I'm cooked. If he clears 2 of my units, I still have technically 3 swings on the board, unless he has like a Beckman, right? So like I can't win next turn unless I get a trigger as well. So I'm kind of like stuck in a position of like, what should I actually do here? I think he might want to swing the Hongo here, which is fine, but like he still has the opportunity to go 5, 6, 8, 10. We'll just gamble it. We'll gamble it because I think the Kid and Killer, if he doesn't go for my face this turn for game, I think I have the win on the clapback. I think 100% I have the win on the clapback. So this is going to be very interesting. I want to see how he navigates this turn. It's definitely a gamble on my end. But I think with decks like this, you know, certain situations you have to gamble. Because like here, the Shanks feels like, okay, I probably die next turn. Let me play defensive. I probably don't win this turn. Right? Okay, look, he's using Hongo for the dragon, which is super good off rip. He probably wants to get rid of it. He's probably going to minus it again and then play like a Beckman or something. Yeah, so perfect. We're not going for a game. We're going for board. So this is what we wanted. As long as he can't kill that dragon, I think we're okay. If he can kill it, we're actually cooked. Okay, so he can. All right, and he has 2 Dawn up. All right, we're cooked. He has 2 Dawn. I need a trigger here. I need a trigger. Chat. I play this deck and I never get triggers. I promise you, I never ever get playable triggers, like ever. I don't think I ever get playable triggers, like ever. And now I'm still forced to go for game. So let's see if I can manage something here. Maybe get another rusher. Nope. And I don't even think it's worth to search for one. Is it worth to search for one? 1 Dawn. How much? Like, am I finding the Inazuma? That's the real question. Am I finding the Inazuma? I've already seen one, so I have 5 cards in this 31 card deck to find another Inazuma. Does that even make sense? I don't even think that makes sense. I really needed a trigger there to win this, because now with 2 Dawn up, he did trigger 1 Red Hawk. The odds he has another one, they'd be running 4 though. I mean, I guess we just do our best play, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to. I can't even buff that. That's fine. We still got this. We still got this going for us. Okay, and then we just split the Dawn. What is it? 899. 899. Yeah, it's 899. I think we're actually just cooked. This was a lot closer than I expected it to be. I probably made a few misplays if I go back and watch this game. I don't know. It's very hard to say. I feel like we just need. I mean, this deck has the potential to sack, right? So I think sometimes you just need to, hope that's the case. Like if I have another swing here that's like a 8K swing, like we just win. Yeah, there's no way they don't have it, right? 2 Dawn up, no Red Hawk. Maybe it was a bait, and I just take it. Okay, leader effect. Red Hawk. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, all right. Well, it was a good attempt. I think this deck really has the potential to beat a lot of matchups because it's so fast, especially 4 life leaders. I think Shanks was just like I think Shanks is like an unfavorable matchup just because like it's so defensive and it can play Yasop, go to 6K, and so like even if I have a great start, right? Even if I have 2-3 bodies on board super early, by the time I want to swing on their 5 Dawn, they just go ahead and play Yasop, and it's like, ah, shit. Now I literally can't swing unless I leader effect and then attach 1 Dawn individually. I don't know. I would have to test that matchup more, but like just off first impression, I think that's a very, very unfavorable matchup. Anyways, I'm going to stop throwing my elo. I hope you guys enjoyed this short video on Belo Betty. It's a fun deck. Regardless of its place in the meta, it is a very, very fun deck. And so, when you're high rolling, you feel like you're playing a different game, and it's very, very fun. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like this video, comment down below, subscribe to my channel. And don't forget, I'm doing coaching all this month. I'm doing coaching on Blackbeard. There's treasure cups every single Saturday this month of February. And so if you want to get better, go ahead and sign up. It'll be the first link down in the description below. Thank you guys again. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.